Alpha
Omega.
Joseph says, okay, why is the invocation before the treasury of light when Leslie takes the feather and swirls around each alpha and omega? Please explain. It would help in awareness of the ritual.
Take a nice deep breath and feel into your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your shoulders, arch your back, push your belly out, really breathe in as much air as you can. Stretch all your muscles and exhale completely. And as you are breathing deeply and feeling deeply into each and every bit of your whole self, visualize yourself as the tree of life, however it is you imagine that tree to be, and grow your branches up high into alpha sky. Drive your roots down deep into Omega Earth. I call on you in the east, Alpha. I call on you in the west, Omega. I call on you in the north, Alpha. I call on you in the south, Omega.
Alpha,
Et Omega,
the beginning
and the end,
and the path of the sun between, birth
and death,
and the path of life between. I am the Alpha
and the Omega.
Okay, when I was putting together this for the Alpha Omega, I went back to original sources, things that were written by magicians during the time that Jesus was purported to live, and in the same geographic region. And I read through 500 or 600 different rituals and spells and different magical procedures, and noticed that there was a definite pattern, a pattern very different from that which we use today. Today, magicians, when casting a circle, will go from one direction and then move through them. You see, going from east to south to west to north. That definitely was not how things were done during Jesus' time. In Jesus' time, what was common was to use opposites. And the idea was that by invoking first one side and then the other opposite side, that what you were doing was creating a balance within. And so each time an action was made, an equal and opposite reaction was done in order to balance the energies.
Right.
And so when you call up as Alpha, of course, logically, down is going to be Omega, and that completes the circuit.
Right.
I did it because it is historically accurate for the time period. And being an archaeologist, my specialty was experimental archaeology. I actually made the tools I was studying and went out into the field and used them as they were purported to have been used.
Wow.
Because when you do that, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about how the marks on the tools are made, because different activities leave different wear patterns.
Wow.
And I used exactly the same methodology for Magick, knowing that the wear patterns that I'm looking for are actually energetic sensations within myself and my environment. And that's how I developed it. That what you're looking at is a 21st century reimagining.
So yes, we are at the same time magic revivalists, because we are reviving the ancient magic of Jesus, at least what purports to be the ancient magic of Jesus. That's what the disciples taught one another.
Yes.
And at the same time, we are as well recreationists, because what came down to us is fragmentary. It's like any grimoire.
Or any piece of pottery. Pieces of pottery frequently come to us fragmented, and we reassemble them.
Right. And even without that problematic, the grimoires presuppose that you are a magician already. It's not like they're going to tell you, like I do in the Ritual Magic Manual, step by step what you do. Mm-hmm. They're more like
Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes, exactly. An
Yes.
outline. Here are the hierarchies, you know what to do with them.
Right, exactly.
And that's how they are also in the Treasury of Light, for example. You have the 3 names going in, the 3 names going out, and you have the 12 names going around.
Yes.
And it's not even around, they're just listed on top of one another.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, as magicians, of course, we had to recreate what, to the best of our ability,
Mm-hmm.
is how quite likely the ritual was very nearly done back then.
Yes, there have only been 1 or 2 conscious changes that I have made that differ from the original methodology used. And the reason was specifically because we are in the 21st century, and
Right.
there are some things that simply do not carry over in time, like dinosaurs.
Now, another piece of this is that we find, not only in ceremonial magic and in Wicca,
Mm-hmm.
this notion of casting a circle. It's pretty ubiquitous, isn't it?
It is. In fact, the circle is, so far as archaeologists can determine, the first shape associated with religion.
Wow.
And that's for a lot of reasons. We naturally dance in a circle when we dance around something.
Right.
The 2 luminous bodies in the sky are round. It lends itself, when a woman is pregnant, she is round. Roundness lends itself to the concept of deity very easily.
If you, also in the Native American tradition, if you go to a Native American powwow, many different cultures, you're going to find different cultural expressions of north, south, east, west rituals.
Yes, even in North America, different tribes have different colors associated with the 4 directions. And sometimes they'll be exactly opposite. It just depends on the tribe you are in.
So we kept that in mind. So likely it's going to begin, and these sort of rituals, they actually serve a function. They serve a function of centering.
Yes.
And in the case of the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, also of purification.
Yes, that's true. You know, in fact, purification and banishing, as I'm clicking through my catalog of who does what, when, and where, and why, I cannot think of a culture that does not practice cleansing and purification before the beginning of a ritual.
Interesting. It's ubiquitous.
Yes. It's a cross-cultural constant, of which there aren't very many.
So what's unique? Well, it's not unique, but Leslie's correct. You do see in the time period, you see lots of things like this.
Yes.
Like, for example, there are several different rituals you can find in the Greek magical papyri, or the PMG, they call it for short, among scholars, that have these rituals that are in the north, south, east, and west, and above and below.
Yes.
Also, the Rose Cross ritual in the Golden Dawn has the same pattern of the four quarters and above and below.
Yes, some Native American tribes recognize above, below, and center,
Right.
as do many tribes in
As
East
do
Asia.
some of the Greeks. Some does some of the Greek magic of the period.
Yes, yes. Southeast Asia still uses that, to the best of my memory. So, yeah.
So this is not something that we just kind of pulled out of thin air, but we took the grimoire that we have in the Bruce Codex
Yes.
with the secret names of the angels. This is the treasury. It's incredible. The secret names to call them.
Yes.
He left them to us. And that's what we're using.
Mm-hmm. It's an incredible treasure.
That's an incredible treasure. It is one of the greatest treasures of the Western world, and we're bringing it to you, folks.
What I find so fascinating about it is, as an archaeologist, looking at all of the different materials that are available for that time period, and just seeing how, what's the word? Drowned in magic everyone was at that time period. Magic was ubiquitous. It was everything. Magic was as important as money and was talked about and used as frequently.
Right. The other thing that's really unique about that ritual, that the way that you created it, Leslie, and that we practice it in the Alpha Omega, is that rather than working in a circle, it works with opposites.
Right.
It works north to south, east to west, above to below.
Yes.
So what's very interesting there is what you're doing. What she's up to is she's creating with this part of the ritual. She's opening both the solar current, the path of the sun, from east to west, and the magnetic current, the path of the earth, from north to south.
And
a cosmic current.
Yes.
From above to telluric, a cosmic telluric current as well.
Yes, and you literally become the connection between heaven and earth in that moment.
So this is the meaning of the Alpha Omega ritual. That can be used in opening, it can be used in closing. Use it as much as you like. You're welcome to. You know, it's our gift to the world.
Yes. Oh, he asked about the feather.
Oh, right. That's correct. Would you like to
Yes.
say something about
So I
that?
should say something about the
How about,
feathers.
how about you get it?
Of course. So these are the two feathers that I use most often. And they're both turkey feathers. It's just this one has been painted to look like a golden eagle, and this one has been left natural. Now, the reason for using a feather was actually quite conscious.
Oh, by the way, if people would like to get feathers like this, I mean, because, you know, eagle feathers are illegal. It's not possible for us gringos, to have eagle feathers, unless part of the Native American church. And these are the next best thing. It works just as well. It is painted turkey feathers, and if someone is looking to find a great imitation eagle feather so that you can use the energy of eagle and yet legally, it's where Crazy
Crow Trading Post.
Crazy Crow Trading Post. You can find them online. It's a Native American trading post. They have really, really great stuff.
In fact, it's where I get all my replica materials. I make quite a few replicas, museum-style replicas of different artifacts that are really popular. And that's where I get my materials for making those things. Very authentic, very accurate. Reproductions, reasonably priced. It's fantastic.
Right. Now, the other thing, as long as we're talking about the magic of Jesus, I'm just going to make this real brief because we want to take some more questions. But as long as we're talking about this, in addition to the treasuries of light, there are the baptisms and a ritual for the forgiveness of sins. And there's a system for ascension, for rapture, rising through the 12 planes into the kingdom of light. So that's what's in the Bruce Codex. That's what the whole system entails. And we will, as time goes by, be making more and more of this system accessible to the public in a way that's easily usable by a lot of people?
Yes, I have been working on rewriting and sculpting.
And making it accessible.
Yes.
Thanks really for asking that. It's really a labor of love, getting up every morning and getting out there. And Leslie is really so disciplined. She's getting the fire going for us as well in the morning lately, so that
It's a lot of fun to
it's
start
not
fire.
quite as cold as as it's been.
Yeah, you would be surprised how that fire actually keeps us quite warm when we're out there. I don't know if you noticed this morning, but this morning it was so cold we actually came around to the other side of the fire to purposefully stand in the smoke. Because, you know, whichever way the smoke is blowing, that's also which way the heat is blowing. So.
Yesterday we released this brand new ebook, Was Jesus a Magician? Give you the basic background of the rediscovery of the lost books of Yahweh, how it happened, why they were repressed, why it is that the magic of Jesus was nearly destroyed and wiped from the face of the earth, and the miracle by which it survived. How we only have one precious manuscript of this ancient knowledge, and that's truly all there is left. Well, maybe in the Vatican they have it, but they're not about to give us that to fill in the little gaps that we've found. So be sure to make sure you download this. You don't want to miss this. You can get it for free for now at thesecretsofjesus.com. Thesecretsofjesus.com.
Are you familiar with the Rosicrucian with what's his name? He's popular in the States. He's the president or the
Emperor.
Imperator.
The president.
Emperor.
Imperator.
From the Golden Dawn. What's his name?
Oh. David Griffin holds this position as Emperor.
Imperator.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin. Have David Griffin.
I saw an email yesterday that he sent out about, you know, there's a magical war going on.
The Mage War.
Demons of the infernal realm. All of them.
There is really a magical war going on.
The Mage War.
There is a guy called David Griffin who is heading all these magicians.
David Griffin is S.L. McGregor Mather's present successor.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
I'm Golden Dawn Imperator David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
David Griffin.
Now David Griffin.
You know, there's a magical war going on.
So there is really a magical war going on.
Alpha
Omega.